Hi, this is Mr. Manley, and this is a little lesson on arithmetic sequences and series. I'm not going to talk a lot about what they are. I'm just going to jump right in and start looking at doing them. I'm presuming a little bit of knowledge about what an arithmetic sequence is. The idea of a sequence of numbers that have a common difference. Now, here are the two formulas. And if you take instruction with me, you know that I'm not big on memorizing these formulas, but we do have them here and we will use them. You may know, however, that we can arrive at these relationships through discovery without memorizing a formula. So let's go ahead and look at the problem that I want to start with here. Here we're given an arithmetic sequence, and the fifth term, again, the fifth term is 190, and the value of the 10th term is 115. And we're being asked to find the 20th term, the nth term, which means we're going to be finding a formula, and we want to know the sum of the first six terms. So again, I'm not going into a lot of discussion about arithmetic sequences, so I'm not going to talk about this notation at all, assuming that you have that as a background already. So we'll jump in here and say that really the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sub n before I do a sub 20. So a sub n is a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So I need d and I need a sub 1. So d is the common difference, and I can find that by finding the difference between the 10th term and the 5th term and dividing by how many spots separate them. You know, this is very similar to finding the slope of a line, if you think about it, that this term here, up here on the left, that's like having a x value of 5, that's your input, and then a y value of 190. And then the second term is like x value 10, and then 115. So hopefully you can see that, or if not, you can find your own way of determining what the common difference is. So let's do that calculation. And we get negative 15 for the common difference. So we can plug that in for d. Of course, you understand that I found d, and I'm going to plug that in for d. The next thing that we want to find is the a sub 1. We want to know what the first term is. We could probably work our way back there informally, right? If I know that the fifth term is 190 and the common difference is negative 15, I could work my way back and figure out what a sub 1 is, as I say, informally. But let's do it in a formal way. So I'm going to find a sub 1 here. I'm going to use some information that I've been given. Like I know that 190 is equal to whatever a sub 1 is times, all right, now I have n minus 1. Well, 190 has an n of 5. So I'll go 5 minus 1 times negative 15, and we'll solve that for a sub 1. Okay, we got 220, and now we can plug that in. See this a sub 1, we can plug that in right there, and our formula will be complete. So it's a sub n equal to 220 plus n minus 1 times negative 15, and maybe we want to simplify that and say a sub n is equal to negative 15n and plus 235, right? Now that we have a sub n, which is one of the items that we're being asked to find, so we found that a sub n there. Now let's go ahead and look at a sub 20, which is really just an easy substitution since we already have a sub n. So just plug in a 20, n is 20. Down in the bottom left there, plug in a 20 for n. So that is negative 15 times 20 plus 235, which is negative 65. And we've got a sub 20. And then let's go to s sub 6. S sub 6 means that we want to find the sum of the first 6 terms. So we're letting n equal 1, n equal 2, n equal 3, and summing those 6 terms. So of course we know already that the first term is 220, right? Didn't we find that out already? 220. And then the next term is 15 less, right? So it's plus 205. And the next term is 15 less than that, which is 190. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Let me look at something here. All right, so I've got an error. I could go back and redo this whole video, but I think it's good to look at errors. Look at this. How do I know it's an error? Because I remember that 190 was supposed to be the 5th term. Remember that? Look here in the upper left. That's what we were given. A sub 5 is equal to 190. So that's supposed to be the 5th term. So now, where do I look? I'm looking back here and going, well, all right, so what could be wrong? My negative 15, my common difference? So I'm getting that right, but I'm not ending up at the 3rd term, so I'm thinking it's the 220. I think I made an error there. So let's go back, and we'll take a look at where I did a sub 1. So here it is, this down in the bottom right-hand corner, 190, and then this is 4 times negative 15, which is negative 60, and then I was supposed to add that to 290, so there's my error right there. That 220 is supposed to be 250. All right, so that messes up that messes up everything over here. Everything over here, that's all messed up. So let's go and fix that. Okay, so I'm back to here where this is this piece right here. So that's supposed to be 250. So let's go ahead and fix that. All right, now it'll give us our new a sub n, which will be 250 plus 15, so that's 265, and then minus 15n. So that should be all right now. And then a sub 10 is going to be 265 minus 150, which will give us 115. And then let's go back to our s sub 6 that we're trying to find. Okay, so we're looking for our s sub 6. We've got our new correct a sub n, and we want the first 6 terms. So that was 250, and then minus 15 will give me the next term, but I want the sum, so I'm not subtracting the next term. I'm still adding the next term, which is 15 less than 250, which is what, 235, and then plus 15 less than that is 220, and then 15 less than that is 205, and 15 less than that is 190. So there's the correct 5th term, which was the alarm that went off the first time through this. And then plus 15 less than that is 175. All right, so we want the sum of all these terms. We could just add them up, of course, but let's look at the formula for an arithmetic series, which says that the formula for an arithmetic series says that s sub 6 is going to be equal to 6 over 2 times the value of the first term plus the value of the last term. And we get 1275. So I'll add that down to the bottom left here to my other solutions. S sub 6 is 1275. Okay? Let's look at one more because I just want to look at a sigma notation. And now in this context, we know it's an arithmetic series, but we would want to be able to recognize that. We'd want to be able to recognize that, okay, this is an arithmetic series with a common difference of 7. I'm going to keep adding 7 to get to the next term. And this is looking for the sum of the first 20 terms. So we're going from this first term to this 20th term, 20 terms. You know, this could also, I could also say that if I knew, so I could also say all of this could be written like this. I could say, well, I've got some a sub n where 7n plus 1 is the sequence, and then I'm looking for s sub 20. Same exact thing with sigma notation. Okay? So it's arithmetic, so I need n. How many terms are there? Well, I'm going from 1 to 20, so there are 20 terms, times the value of the first term. So I let n equal 1, and I get that the first term is 8, plus the value of the last term. And the last term here is when n is 20. So that's going to be 7 times 20 plus 1, which is 141. And there's our sum. 1490, that simplifies too. Okay, so hopefully you're comfortable with arithmetic and or arithmetic sequences and series, and using the formulas and being able to read the notation. And that's all for today.